Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Rustam, we are currently seeing a generational change in top level chess. You work or have worked with a number of representatives of a younger generation, including your compatriot Nodirbek Abdusattorov, who is made it now up to the first place on the world rankings. What makes him stand out?
Yeah, no, as you say, I worked with a lot of young players, and I feel privileged to have been able to do so. It's just very interesting just to see them at work and to see how good they are at a very young age. And Nodirbek is also, yeah, my countryman, and it's just for me very interesting also to be able to experience a top level chess conversation in my own language.
Yes.
This I thought was somehow special about this. So, you know, to be able to discuss something at a reasonably high level, I would say, in Uzbek was very special to me. And also, I mean, he's a remarkably strong chess player, and also a really great guy to be with, to work with. So feel very privileged about this. And he was just, you know, one of those players who was so good so early, like unbelievably good already at 12, 13. And okay, when he won the world championship, the rapid world championship at the age of, how old was he then? 16 or 17. For one, I was not surprised. I mean, I thought this was a completely normal event.
Consequence.
And basically with him, I mean, right now, of course, he's having to prove or to live through the fact that every development at some point hits a certain plateau, that, you know, your progress is no longer up, but, you know, up and down and a bit of flat sort of development. But hopefully he'll break through a couple of times more before, you know, he hits his actual level. My hopes and expectations with him are very, very high. Although it has to be said, yeah, chess is not a simple game, and there isn't a single player in history who experienced it differently. No matter how talented you are, how successful you have been, chess is a difficult path to go. Like, no one in the history of the game had an easy time of it. I mean, you can take anyone, no matter how successful, there will have been days and months and years in this person's career where this person would have second and third thoughts about the game and about the path he or she have chosen. So I think this has to be acknowledged. Chess is an incredibly difficult game, and yeah, all these talents, they are, whilst remarkably successful, they also are having to live with a fair share of difficulties on their way, Nodirbek included, of course. Yeah.
Arjun, who has now passed 2,800 ELO and is the Indian #1 ahead of Gukesh, revealed in the summer that he have been working together with you since 2021. How did that come about?
Well, I mean, we have indeed been working together, although, I mean, he plays so much chess that there is not so much time left for actual work. has to be acknowledged because he just really plays non-stop, more or less. But we have been in contact and working, since then, since 2021. I think so for more than 3 years now. And I mean, you don't cross 2800 at the age of 20 without having some extraordinary talent to back it up. But also for a while now, for me, Arjun, I think of him as a logical successor to Vishy Anand in a way, because he has the same sort of easy approach to chess. We see him like with no other player, just chess looks easy. The lines, they come freely to him. He calculates really, really cleanly and fast, and he just likes playing chess, and it just has such a just a natural approach to chess, and this is nice. This is nice to see, and I think that's why also he has, I think, such a huge following these days. People really like to see him play chess. There is no you don't really see much visible effort. He makes it look like it's pure talent. Of course, there is a lot of hidden work, something you don't see, but the outer appearances, I can see why they are very, very appealing to the chess public.
Hans Niemann also recently let it be known that you trained him. Now that the Carlsen-Niemann affair has cooled down and Niemann has made it into the world's top 20, how far can he go?
Well, saying that I trained him is overstating it. He has taken some classes with me, some sessions with me, like so many others. Because, well, especially in times during the pandemic or immediately after, I have been doing a lot of online work, and Hans Niemann was one of the players who took this opportunity to book some sessions with me. I had never worked with him over the board. It was just some online contact.
Yes.
It just sort of coincided and in a way culminated with this episode. So I did not consider myself like his main coach at the time, or he was never my main student. He was just one of those people who took some sessions with me. So I wouldn't say I know him too well at all. It's just one of those players. And then it somehow later it became known that I actually, I mean, one of our sessions was before that tournament. So before that tournament, and
this tournament,
the tournament where he played against Magnus. And after this sort of, we also more or less stopped our work for no other reason than because I was just really too busy with other players who were taking most of my time, and there was also certain potential conflict of interest, and I just sort of I had to make some cuts and choices. And Hans, it's just such an interesting case these days because well, I mean, clearly to me he is two different people. There is this public persona, social media persona, and the persona that I experienced. So a public persona, as far as I can see, I'm not the one deeply involved in social media. I mean, I try to stay out of all of that, and even I somehow hear certain things. So clearly he's seems to me that he's trying to sort of create a certain notoriety and profit from this notoriety, which is an approach. Okay, we live in those times where it's okay. I mean, people somehow have done this in other fields as well. You create this notoriety and you profit from this. You create certain public persona like Kim Kardashian, or something like this. You have this sort of, why not, right? The Hans Niemann I experienced was a completely different person from what I hear about him in social media and online. I mean, with me, he was really one of the most pleasant people to work with, friendly and respectful and attentive, and really just massively delicate in his approach. And just things I heard about him from the social media, from the online world, I just didn't recognize. Yeah, so
he was just maybe taken and put into some frame, which is not
he could have
revealing his real
he could
character,
have a
right?
business plan.
Maybe
Well,
that.
why not? I mean, Kim Kardashian did it. Why shouldn't he? Because clearly he also profited from his notoriety a lot, even like financially. You know, I don't want to get into details, but I mean, I have been hearing things, and it seems to me like he already earned a fair share of money from his chess career, which, and again, his chess career, I mean, to date, is no big deal. I mean, he doesn't have the results of Abdusattorov or Gukesh or Arjun, not even close, right? But his business model is different. His business model clearly is not letting chess speak for itself, right? It's actually creating a whole
terrible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as Nakamura said about him, trying to be the bad boy of chess. Okay, I mean, we have.
Maybe it's good for the chess scene to have some people like that.
Basically, it depends what you want from the chess scene. I mean,
at least from the outside perspective, maybe it's.
It really depends on where you are and what do you want, and what do you expect of chess. I mean, for me, everything that people told me was great for chess. For me, it felt pretty terrible. Like, I haven't seen 1 second of the Queen's Gambit, because I just do not want to watch a Netflix series about chess. It's like I don't even understand the appeal from where I am. Like, you have to understand, my childhood days, I looked at chess. My teenage years, I looked at chess. My adult life, I looked at chess. I played chess. I trained chess. I dreamed chess. I realize I actually dream chess when I close my eyes, and those are not very pleasant dreams. And then I switch on Netflix, and I'm supposed to watch a series on chess. This is just never gonna happen.
And this little girl also dreamed chess.
Yeah, well, this is just never gonna happen.
Episodes.
Me watching a chess series is not gonna happen. I mean, I can watch Netflix, but it's not going to be about chess. I can watch YouTube videos about anything, but it will not be chess. And when Hans Niemann started making it into mainstream news, I did not like this. Nothing personal, but I just, I mean, when I'm at a chess tournament or I'm training chess, I understand I have to deal with chess, but I do not want chess to sneak up on me in unexpected places.
Let's move to someone very popular here in Germany, Vincent Keymer. Is the best player here and among the world's top 20 as well. To what extent do you see it as a handicap that Vincent, unlike many other top players in the world, had to deal with his final exam at school at the same time he need to practice chess?
Well, I mean, how difficult can the final exams be in a German school? Really, no, I don't know. I mean, most professional chess players, they never get to finish school. As Bobby Fischer once said, I never finished school, and I'm not sure that it would have been necessary, I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think his problems came around the time when he was, finishing school. I think his problems came a bit later, when his progress suddenly seemed to hit some natural block. At the moment, I mean, it looks like he hasn't really been getting stronger for a while. He has some very good tournaments, and then suddenly he has like bad stretches, and And the thing is, I mean, honestly, like, you know, if I claimed to be some sort of a chess expert, you would believe me, right? I have street cred to support this, you know.
Street credibility. Yeah.
I have, you know, the experience as a player, as a coach. I've seen them all. I mean, I could speak here as an expert and make a very believable impression. But the truth is, well, we just never know these things. We just don't know. Like, if you asked me, what is the probability that Vincent will
That
ever
would be
hit,
my next question.
will ever hit like 2800, or that
Yeah.
he'll be a world champion, or that he will be a world championship contender, I can either, you know, produce a number out of my head and make it sound very believable, or I can tell you the truth. What is the truth?
You never know.
I don't know. The truth is, I just don't know. The truth is, I just don't know, and I don't think there is a way to know. I think the whole chess history, as it is, it has been mythologized. The chess history is not history, it's mythology. And like right now, we don't know how the match Gukesh-Dingliren will end. When it will end, we will find very plausible explanation
Sure.
for why it ended, how it ended. Currently, will Gukesh become a stronger player than Arjun? Or will it be the other way around? Will they even be close? We just don't know. We have not the slightest idea. Will Vincent become as good as the others? When he does, we will say, well, it was obvious, Vincent. Yeah, we knew it, you know, with his technical ability,
It's a matter
you know,
of consequence. Or
his
whatsoever.
dedication
Yeah.
to chess. Is such a nice guy. He's actually a really nice guy, Vincent. I love him. We will have a good explanation for this. When he doesn't, we will also have a good explanation for that. The truth is, before the fact, we have no idea. I actually, I never understood this. I still don't understand what makes one player stronger than the other player. It's just at some point when they are stronger, we sort of see this, but we never know the reasoning behind. Because, you know, two players, both very talented, both work very hard, both calculate extremely well, both have good technique, both understand everything very well. One of them is very successful, the other one is not. We sort of just, this is just the result that we see, that one of them turned out to be stronger than the other. But we never understand why, and we certainly never beforehand we know.
Then let's think about scenarios, maybe, under which requirements, which must happen to make the world champion out of him?
Well, in fact, there are two possible paths to the top. So first, you become very strong, and you get to the top, or you get to the top and then you get very strong. So, for instance, how it's possible is that, you know, you get lucky in some decisive moments, and you make it to the candidates, for instance. Or you make it to the World Championship match, and then you rise to the occasion. So this is basically where the development comes, not because you sort of gradually developed into a better player, but sort of you want the right things at the right time. And then you rise to the occasion. So basically with Vincent, he's an amazingly good player. But I do not know him very closely as far as his chess is concerned. He's sort of a unicorn amongst chess players as far as this is concerned, because he's one of the very few players I have never worked with. Like personally, I have never worked with Vincent, like in any setting, I think. So maybe he has some chess drawbacks or some psychological drawbacks, confidence drawbacks, but I don't know about them. I just don't see them. So right now, yeah, he will either at some point naturally improve, or maybe he'll win something big. Like sometimes it happens the other way around. You first win something big, and then you have to make sure that your chess level grows accordingly. And sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Like for instance, if after 2004, when I won the World Championship, if after this I grew into a very strong, like a properly top player, this would be the path. I did not quite manage that. So
to maintain this
level,
level,
this level, yeah. but maybe there are some players who have. Somehow, you know,
Yeah,
they sort
yeah.
of stumbled into greatness,
Yeah.
and after this, they were able to keep this level. Maybe there are people like this. For instance, I sometimes feel that the path of Mikhail Tal to the World Championship title was slightly lucky and accidental. But then, to be fair, he did remain a top player for like 30 more years. And some people don't. Yeah, some people, they have this moment, but they don't quite have what it takes. So Vincent, could have either one of these, 3, 4 plausible scenarios. Either maybe he already hit his peak, maybe he will not get lucky, maybe he will develop, or maybe he will get lucky, win something big, and then if he somehow wins the candidates and he qualifies for a World Championship match, I don't think Vincent will be an easy opponent for anyone. Like anyone in the world. Yeah, I think Vincent has enough of a caliber to play against anyone. And we see Vincent is one of the very few players who can play against anyone, no matter how strong. Yeah, he has this ability that I think makes him stand out a bit amongst people with a similar rating. For instance, I don't even know what is his rating now, like 2730, 2725, something like this.
2740, I think.
Maybe 40, yeah.
We can have a look at it later.
So basically, if you would ask me, I would have to pick one player amongst people with this kind of a rating, rated amongst 2730, 2740 to play a match against Caruana, for instance. Mm-hmm. And I would have to choose between Hans Niemann and Duda and Lo Quang Liem and Vincent Keymer and some others. I would take Vincent. I think he is the one that you have to choose to play against any top opposition because, I think he has what it takes to play on a very, very high level, but he just didn't get there yet. And this I'm not ready, as I said, to tell you why and to make any forecasts about this.
Let's see, and let's talk about in another 2 years.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, in another 2 years.
We will find out, and we will realize, that
out.
was obvious that he will develop like that.
or he won't, yeah. In which case we will also say, he still has, a few more years to potentially develop, and it could go one of this or that ways, yeah. But we will also then not know.
What is the best match you personally have played in your entire career?
Yeah.
Your favorite game?
My favorite game. So of course, if you ask my favorite tournament, this is easy, right? My World Championship is difficult to beat. Although I have some other tournaments that I think of fondly, but of course, the World Championship you cannot beat.
Yeah.
The favorite games, I know that many players, they have some answer ready for this type of question, right? You get asked this a lot, and you should have some answer ready. Some people, they have the game. Some people, they have more elaborate answer. When I think when Ljubojevic was once asked about his favorite tournament, he sort of said, who is your favorite child? So sort of, his achievements are so close to his heart, I don't know. I'm not, as I said, I'm not that much of a fan, so I don't have this sort of emotional attachment to all of this, So of course, I would have to think. First of all, I would have to think, and then some games come to mind. So, for instance, the game I won against Vichy in 2005 World Championship. Mm-hmm. It was sort of felt great at the time. It still feels great. And also have some other experiences which stand out a bit. For instance, I once played a very, very interesting game, a tournament game against Fritz. Back then when we were still playing against computers sometimes. And,
when was that?
I think also the same year, 2005, later in the year. I think in Bilbao there was this tournament where, some top grandmasters played against some engines. Somebody thought this was an interesting idea. This was about the last time that you could actually play reasonable tournament games against computers. They were already stronger than us, but every now and then we got some interesting games. And I played like a full-fledged fighting game against Fritz with black. I made some draw in a remarkable game. It just felt good, like to be able to play a long, sharp game against a computer and to make a draw at the end with unbalanced material. It just felt interesting, sort of memorable. And of course,
I didn't expect that. You mentioning in the computer game.
Well, nowadays it's not possible. Yeah, back then there was
yeah.
something interesting about this. You know,
at least the chance to defeat the computer.
Well, defeat or
power-wise.
make a draw. You know, back then
yeah.
there was still like Kasparov and Kramnik. They were still playing matches against some best engines and so on. Yeah, okay. Nowadays we just don't have this anymore. And but back then it was interesting. And of course, if I think, I could think of many games that felt very good at the time. But okay, nowadays, so many years later, as I said, my World Championship, for instance, is a very cherished memory. But a lot of single games of chess that I played, so many years later, you sort of ask yourself, was this really as important as it felt at the time?
No, maybe not. If we focus not too much onto these days, but the entire history of chess, is there one really remarkable game taking place? You would say, okay, that changed chess a lot, or
I just
considered to be really remarkable.
It's never really one game. I mean, you could take periods, or you could take periods in somebody's career. Like for me personally, the rise of like Jose Raúl Capablanca is a remarkable place in history of the game, because I think that he raised the level of the game to the extent that people suddenly had to approach the game very professionally. Like in order to beat Capablanca, Ali Khan had to prepare very, very professionally and to behave very professionally at the board. And then, later what Fischer did between 1970 and 1972, just how much quality, but also how much willpower and so on he brought to the game. I think this is like a remarkable episode in the game of chess. I think just saying this, like that, his game against Taimanov, such and such, was the best game ever played, is putting an emphasis on the wrong thing. It's like me asking you, for instance, Godfather is one of the best movies ever made. Which minute of this movie do you think is the best? Or which, 25 seconds of this movie? I think this is just not a correct way of going about it. It just, some chess careers, some phases, they can be very, very sort of impressive.
Which scene you like the most, maybe?
Yeah, but also I think, for instance, it's unfair to take a scene from a movie because the movie was intended as one complete product. You cannot say, the minutes from 27 to 35 are great, but from 35 to 42 are so-so. It just doesn't work like this, right? And I think, for instance, you can take, when you take the whole career, then we can talk about, who and how played the best chess or made the most for chess history. But like taking, single games separately, and there are so many good games of chess in history, and many more bad ones. I just don't think this is sort of a correct way of approaching. I don't think chess breaks down like this, like maybe some other sports, because the sports are different. Like for instance, you can maybe say the best forehand in history, and you can show a video to this. But I don't know. But even then, I think there are so many best of videos and so many best ever videos. There can, as in the immortal words of Jerry Seinfeld, there cannot be so many best. Do you know this one? This is, my doctor is the best. There cannot be so many best. It's just, I just don't know. I don't think about things in this way.
Fair enough. Last question, Rustam. Not too serious. Which person, doesn't have to be a chess professional, would you like to play against at the chessboard, but you haven't had the opportunity yet?
Yeah, no, this is also one of those questions I never think about in my free time. You know, I don't know. This is also the thing. Like nowadays, I also don't know. Like there is this question, yeah, whom would you invite to lunch if you could? And nowadays I just don't know. I don't know whether it's like celebrities of our world. They have become familiar to us. There is this, of course, seeming familiarity because we see them online, right? But somehow nobody really feels that special to me anymore for some reason. I know it used to be different. Like, as I said, 35 years ago, any grandmaster seemed like an extraterrestrial to me, you know. But now, yeah, I mean, the only one I can think of, if I could play against anyone, just anyone at all, just like anyone living or dead, you know, I would play against Capablanca. I just would like to see, you know, how good was he really in by today's standards, for instance, because you know, when I sort of looked through his games when I was a kid, this was like art, yeah, like going through some amazing paintings or sculptures or buildings or exotic cars, you know. It was just they had this feel of art to them, but unfortunately there is just no way of direct comparison. So if you gave me this chance, you know, I would play a few blitz games against Kappa and see if well, honestly, if he can put up a fight, but not a comparison we'll ever get to make, right?
But it's at least a specific person, and I'm glad that you...
that I named someone, yes. No, it's just, I think it also really depends. Like the people who are important for your chess development, they come by chance, they come by luck. Like for instance, I had a lovely book on José Raúl Capablanca when I was a kid, and no such book about Emanuel Lasker, which is why somehow Capablanca became more important for my chess development than Lasker. It really depends on a book that you have in your hands as a kid, and this very book will have an effect on your development later. At least that's how it was with me. Yeah? So there again, it's also accidental. If your first book is about the greatness of, you know, Alexander Alekhine, then you'll have a different development than if your first book is about José Raúl Capablanca. It will just have a stylistic impact. And me, you know, looking at Capablanca when I was a kid, it had an impact on me. You know, I became this sort of lazy positional player with occasional flashes of brilliance. Yeah, so I don't know, maybe it's some subconscious emulation of a style also. Yeah? So yeah, I mean, if I had the chance, but unfortunately, I don't think I will ever get this chance. Yeah? Unless, you know, they will find a way to do it like in Avatar 2, you know, they will remodel him with using his DNA, bring him back to life and make him a chess player again. But who knows?
Maybe in 2 years something like this will be possible also here. Let's see. And we also will know where Vincent Keymer made it to.
Maybe we'll know more about Vincent Keymer than about, you know, remodeling the DNA of José Raúl Capablanca. Yeah? Hopefully, at least.
You never know.
You never know.
Rustam Kasimdzhanov, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being our guest today.
Thanks for having me.
It was a great pleasure and a great interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you.